Hi everybody, welcome back. This is lesson number 3. Let us look up to the very first topic that we have. What is the difference between connecting and following? Now, as you know, LinkedIn is known for something called connections. Why? Because the mission and vision states that you have to connect with people, you have to network with them, you have to grow, you have to learn, and you have to evolve as a better person. Now, when I say connections, as you already know that we have talked really high about connections and degrees of connections. In this video, I'm going to talk about what exactly is the difference between having a connection and having a follower. Now, as you see, that connection is one where you have got 3 degrees, all right? And connection is more about having that trust, that connect, and that when we meet somebody for the first time, we can't become friends. But you say that, hey, I met him on one of the events or one of the weddings or one of the, any of the functions where we were. So idea is that connection is more about having trust, having that connect. Whereas when we go to the following, the followers are simply those who probably would not know you, but would rather know you, let's say, because you are posting something. So they are kind of liking that, they're kind of sharing it with others. So that is probably like a LinkedIn member. All right. Connection, as we already talked about, it's more about having somebody in your network who can observe you, who can see, who can evolve, who can learn, and who can actually, exchange ideas. So the first degree connections, the second degree, and the third degree, somehow connections have got that trust, that connect, and that understanding. Whereas if I talk about following or followers, they are just those LinkedIn members who can share, talk about your post, and they can have that connect with you. Now, when I say connecting, as you can read, what does it say? It says that this way you both are able to see each other's post. Now, when you're connected with somebody, you both can see each other's content, the post that you're writing, the content that you're sharing, both the parties can see, as in you and your connection both. All right. Now, if we move down to the second, to the other side. So here, guys, we see that sharing is only moving in one direction, which means that you have shared something and your follower can see, can probably engage if he finds that point of interest. If he doesn't, then probably he might not. So following is more like having somebody who's observing, who's seeing what you're doing, who knows about you, but you don't know, you don't have that connect and trust between each other. All right. Moving down to the next one, let us look at the connecting side first. So connecting says that you can also easily send messages to your connection. Let's go back to our last lesson. I talked about 3 connections and how we can exchange messages. We can exchange conversations. So for the first degree, the idea was to have free messages, right? Because they are very close friends of yours, right? The second one is the second degree, where you can exchange messages only when you have in-mails, as in when you're going to upgrade to the LinkedIn Premium. I'm sure you guys have that curiosity element, and I'm going to take you to LinkedIn Premium very soon, practically and theoretically, wherein I'll show you all the features. So till then, please stay calm and composed and focus on what we are doing. So let's get back. So it says that you can easily send messages. If it is a first degree connection, you can possibly, go and send the message like that, because first degrees, they've got that free message thing. Then comes your second degree, where you can, of course, exchange ideas. And so ideally, when the second degree connection accepts your request, most of the time you find the option to send it. But there are instances, and most of the time you would see that you would need an in-mail for that. So yes, you need to upgrade to LinkedIn Premium. However, I'm going to talk a lot about how you can organically grow and connect with your connections without even going to LinkedIn Premium. I don't prefer LinkedIn Premium. I prefer growth plans. So we are going to show you very, very rock solid growth plan for your LinkedIn. So yes, till now, let us just understand the difference. Moving this side, we are going to see, of course, someone could view your page and see some of the information. That's very true. When somebody is observing you, somebody knows that Shivangi is there on LinkedIn. Let's say you guys don't know me, okay? And now that my profile has already reached that limit of, as I told you, like 30,000. So it's something close to 29,000. And that was something I eventually I kind of redo with my connection things. I had to put off people from my connection network, and rather I wanted people to follow, because I was just about to cross that limit. And when I realized that we only have 30,000 connections, that was one of the biggest mistakes that I have made in the very beginning of my journey. I was able to achieve 30,000 in possibly like in years time. It was very simple. I should not even say year. It was just like about 6-9 months. But when I realized that it's just about 30,000 connections, so now what I do, as I told you, I every day kind of go back and kind of, I would not say delete people from that, but I kind of remove people from my connections who I see can't be really an apt and appropriate connection. I know that action is not really good, but the other person doesn't get to know about it. So it's okay. You can go and do that. Your connections are very important, and you just can't go and accept everybody's connection request, just like the Facebook friend request. So you have to be very mindful. However, people can follow you, and that builds your follower base. And it's always good to have more followers. That shows that your profile is credible. People can trust you. Recruiters can reach out to you. And the idea is not just to have like a very rock solid profile with more followers where you're not engaging with them. Right? If there are people who are following you, if there are people who are connecting with you, I think LinkedIn is a platform where you have to exchange ideas, where you have to talk, where you have to share. And, the idea is, again, not to come out as a very smart person. No, you don't have to be smart or the smartest. You don't have to prove your capabilities and your intelligence or probably how smart you are. I think, as I already mentioned, and I have been talking about the same thing again, that LinkedIn is more about connecting. And the moment we start assuming people to be more professional, we kind of start, fearing them, or we don't have that connect. Okay, so I'm sure now that you all are in college, you know how you can feel connected to one of the professors, and to the other one, you feel that ma'am is not very good because she doesn't talk much. Maybe she's very rude. We kind of start making assumptions about that person, right? We don't have to do that. That's something you shouldn't allow people to do. If you'd not give them that comfortable, zone for them to reach out to you, for you to connect with them, giving them some reasons to connect with you, and ensuring that if they follow you, you are adding some value to their lives. And don't do it because you are expecting some money out of it. No, you would not be paid directly by LinkedIn. That's one very important thing you have to understand. LinkedIn doesn't pay you, but LinkedIn pays you a lot when it comes to opportunities. So, as I told you, I talked about my story that when I started with LinkedIn, I was very interested in having like a good growth plan. I started reaching out to people. Everybody was giving me different ideas, and I was not able to implement because there was no particular guidance. I was not able to do all this research, and it's just that I was very blindly following LinkedIn algorithm, kind of posting my personal pictures, sharing some content around it, and I was trying to play with the content ideas. That's when I realized that people started connecting with me. Even today, I've got about 9,000, about 10,000 or 9,000 connection requests pending. I don't accept it. Never. One thing here that I need to cover is that while you connect, so when supposedly you want to connect with me, what is the reason? Why are you connecting with me? Is because you feel that, Shivangi ma'am, if we connect with you on LinkedIn, probably we would get to see how she writes, what she does, right? And so you kind of observe me, and why you want me to be in your first degree connection, or probably in your connection and not in your following, is because I understand that you want to see me, what I'm doing, you want to like my post, you want to be there. But connection is like we are now close friends. You can reach out to me without even giving a second thought that I have to upgrade to premium version. No, you can directly come to me, and you can probably message me, and you can state your problems, and that's how we together kind of grow. So having your first degree connections and selecting them is a matter of great choice. So don't do it like that. Give it a thought, take a moment, and then do it. So eventually when you start connecting with people, most of the time we kind of forget that we need to add a personal touch. I see a lot of people sending blindly like a connection request just because they have those connections left, and they are not aware and educated about what's the difference between connecting and following. So I hope my class knows the difference by now, and you would all be able to execute things better, right? Can I get a thumbs up from you all? Thank you. So if there's any question, you can definitely put your doubts. We will have discussion forums, and I'll bring all those points in the other courses and the live classes that we're going to have a little later. But as of now, Anything that's bothering you, just hold on. We have a long course. So complete this course, and I'm sure I'm going to answer all the problems, all the, the FAQs that you have in your mind. I'll cover all of them. But remember, don't send connection requests just like that. If you want to send connection requests, always ensure to add like a personal note. Ma'am, how will I frame this personal note? Am I going to have like a fancy set of templates to use? No. Guys, again, going back to basics, we have to be original. We have to be human. We have to connect. We don't have to present things as if they are very fancy or they are not very connecting. They don't have that human attribute to it. No. Please, 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 whenever you are using any of the social medias, I don't know why, but the moment you start showing things in real and your real life in picture, people start connecting with you. Connecting as in, they would not tell you that, hey Shivangi, I connected with your post. No. They would rather feel that thing, and it's more about emotions. Value emotions over anything that you want to achieve. Professional world is all about empathizing. If you would not be able to empathize things better, if you'd not be able to empathize moments and feelings and actions better, you would eventually not grow in the system. So please remember this, and let us move and talk about what's the difference when you have to follow someone instead of inviting them to connect. So follow someone instead of inviting them to connect. Ma'am, does that mean that, is there anything wrong in connecting? You are trying to say that we shouldn't connect, but we should go and follow people? Then how are we going to exchange messages? So we know the difference by now. Following is when you want to observe somebody, not with an intention to really send and talk to them over messages, but just like be more notified about what they are posting, what time they are posting, and kind of connecting with them if you like the post. So just like you're following, unlike any like any other social media, we have got those followers and following on Instagram as well. It works the same way, that you are kind of following somebody because you want to be notified as to what they are doing. So this particular mini subtopic here would like to cover that how and why do we follow, and how is following someone different from connecting, and is there anything wrong in connecting if I'm like, I prefer to connect with everybody who sends me friend request. So that's not the case, right? So there are some reasons and points that I would like to cover. So number one, there are famous people. Now when I say famous, people call them as celebrities, people call them as thought leaders. So on LinkedIn, it's not about being famous, okay? The world is not about having celebrities on LinkedIn, but yeah, we have got some thought leaders who inspire us to do better, to think better, and they empower the world. So these thought leaders, to name a few of them, we have Ankur Warikoo, a great leader to follow, and he posts like really amazing stuff, a great learned man, and we have a lot to learn from him. So he's like a thought leader. So very famous people, you want to be notified about what they post, to just learn more about life, things, skills. And also when we keep on observing somebody, guys, so if I'm posting regularly, you will see that Shivangi ma'am is creating this kind of content, and eventually over a period of time you'll be like, every time Shivangi ma'am posts, she kind of talks about a story. She starts with like, I've done my MBA, I got rejected. So maybe like she always has that fancy line in the first place, and with that fancy line she kind of derives the story. That could be one of your observations when you look at my post. And I'll talk about content hacking. I know that's something that you need to learn, that what should I post on LinkedIn. So we'll talk about it. The first person who you can follow is probably some famous people, or you could say the thought leaders, right? Then next is people you kind of know as in, guys, there are some friends of friend. Let's say you went on a conference. So Harvard conference happens to be there in Delhi every year, and I've seen a lot of people, a lot of students, they come, they network, and they kind of get to know each other. But the moment the event is over, we kind of don't connect on WhatsApp just like we connect with our best friends or like the people who we know. So what happens, it's like, I know somebody, oh, I met you in that event. So that kind of friends, that kind of people who you say, oh, I met him, let me just connect with him. So not just directly connecting, first you kind of observe their observe what kind of content they are sharing. Are they even regular and consistent when it comes to using LinkedIn? The biggest problem is that everybody creates a profile, and half of the population, they are not interested to really connect. So Shivangi ma'am, what is connection? Is it like we just keep on talking and messaging people? No. Connecting means that you're giving people a reason to learn from you, reason to talk to you, reason to engage with you, and that will only happen when you're going to share content. Now, when I say share content, I mean that you possibly could write down some stories, some narratives, sharing how you learned, sharing some success stories. So all of that will definitely eventually will bring more engagement, and people will start connecting, because everybody has failed, everybody has got rejected, everybody has gone to one of the good colleges, and college life is always considered to be one of the most beautiful phases of our entire the life that we are blessed with. So the kind of people who you possibly would have met in one of the events, and you're like kind of so it says, as you can see, it says people you kind of know. Kind of know means you have that intention, okay, I saw him, he was one of my ex college mates, and however we didn't speak much, but we kind of know each other, so what's wrong in that? So similarly, you can kind of connect with them if you think that you share that good rapport and you have that trust. But ideally, you should start by following them and see if they could also remember and connect with you with your engagement that you are trying to build on the platform by content sharing or through different ways. Content sharing is not just not just one particular way of bringing engagement. Also, commenting, liking posts, engaging on others' posts. There are some of the good ways as to how you can improve the entire engagement model for your LinkedIn. So with this, we come down to the next one: people you reject as a connection. So guys, we don't have to feel bad about rejecting and accepting. Everybody is or I think they should be educated enough to understand that connection is like being a very closest friend kind of a person, wherein you possibly can reach out to them for some personal reasons. And when I say personal reasons, I actually don't mean that they are selfish reasons. In business world, it's not about being selfish, it's about business. Okay, so if you want job, that's not a selfish need that you're connecting with a recruiter. Every recruiter wants to connect with a good candidate. So don't have those kiddish thoughts overpower your mind. And if you have these perceptions that if I reject somebody's connection, let's say a very reputed and renowned professor from an ex-college sent you the request, and you feel that probably ma'am would not be able to add much, so it's okay. I mean, you can observe the growth. Instead of connecting with them, you can possibly go and follow all by yourself. That will, one, show that you are very proactive when it comes to action, and second, that conveys that you are kind of now connecting with them through viewing, by viewing their posts, by observing what they are doing. So all these things, they eventually make a difference in the long run. As of now, we are just beginners, so these things would possibly not make a lot of hassle for us. But I'm telling you, as I told you my own personal story, I have been really facing a lot of challenge. So don't do that. If you think that this particular person can't be our connection, let's say you think Shivangi ma'am would not really exchange messages with us, and kind of she would not be able to add much to my life, and you can possibly go and follow me, and with that you will be more updated with what I post, and that is like a good and a very polite alternative of connecting with a stranger. And also, following gives you a chance to learn more about the other person, and in turn you can easily, if you think that they are not adding anything in your life, you can possibly go and unfollow. But Shivangi ma'am, don't you think it's like a too much of work? One, we follow, second, we unfollow, then we see, then we check, then we analyze. What's this? So yeah guys, it is a lot of work, because you're not just building a platform where you have to have huge number of followers and connections. No, even if you have 1,000 good connections and let's say 500 good followers, it's absolutely okay. Absolutely okay. Look, so if that's the ratio, if that's the kind of number you have, which is okay, which is absolutely okay, it's just that you have to have quality. Prefer quality over quantity. I've seen accounts having a lot of numbers, but they are good for nothing. They are doing nothing. They have an account that talks high about their experience, high about what they have done, but what is in it for me then? If you have done, let's say, a PhD, how is that helping me? If you would have shared one post talking about your PhD experience, maybe as a user, as a viewer, as your religious follower, I could have learned and possibly made an idea or plan of doing an MBA, or maybe doing some higher degrees, or probably pursuing PhD once when I move up the ladder. So all these things are important, guys. Please be mindful, and we'll definitely show you the practical implementation of it. So till then, stay tuned.